Representative Swazi is in a district that went for Trump, even though he's a Democrat. Representative Fitzpatrick is in a district that went for Harris, even though he's a Republican. So you're really in the kind of that crucible. And Representative Fitzpatrick, I want to start with you, because within navigating that sort of Freedom Caucus, really stringent purity testing that goes on as far as the Republican Party and what Trump wants, how do you navigate not necessarily being on the same page about these issues like immigration or tariffs or those kinds of things?
Yeah, I think navigate, John. I honest to God, every time I've run, and I've run 5 times now. I was an FBI agent before I was in Congress, and I'd never run for anything before. And I've been primaried every single time I've run. I've been primaried by the far right every single time. So I'm used to that. And
you have kind of a built up immunity then to the, they always challenge members to that.
Because they're so ridiculous. They're just ideological purists, and that's just not how life works. I ask them all the time. I just marvel. I'll find them on the House floor, and they're rattling sabers and they're mocking, their fellow American on the other side of the aisle. And I just ask them, is this how you function at home? Right? Could you imagine if we took the attitude towards our spouses or our partners that if you don't agree with me 100% of the time, you're stupid and a bad person? That's just ridiculous. And yet you have a lot of adults acting like children here that conduct themselves that way. I'm a term limits believer, John. It's the first bill I introduce every single Congress. I think it's so important that this not be a career, that this be a temporary public service. And I think a lot of good things flow from that, because if you're not trying to stay here and become a committee chair or build up your little political fiefdom or whatever you want to call it, it changes the way you approach the job. And I'm a huge term limits believer. I think the biggest problem in Congress are the people that have been here 20, 30, 40 years.
Right.
It's never meant to be that.
I love that recently Dick Durbin, senator from Illinois, he announced he was not going to be, and he announced it as though it was an unusual announcement. He's 80 years old, and he announced, I'm not gonna run again. I think we should set an example. And I was like, yeah, at 80, just when he was hitting his prime for the Senate,